What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Drew?
All right, let me get everyone that we need up here. Dormant Dragons, Cookie.
What's going on, Drew? What's up, Tiz? How's everybody feeling?
Good, man. Good.
Let's give a little bit more time. Let's fire off a tweet here. See if we can get some more people. What's going on? Who are we speaking with, Joel?
Yeah, that's me.
Joel
Hey,
the
how's
Legend.
it going, man?
What's up? It's good to finally talk to you guys.
Yeah, for
Likewise.
sure.
Likewise, bud.
Feel free to invite Zerk and Matty Ice up if you guys.
All right.
They request. I don't know. I can't really see.
They haven't request. Oh, there's Zerk with the request.
What time is it? You guys all in the US?
In Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch that Boston
17.
Celtics game or?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was a good one.
That game winner was nuts.
Oh, yeah. Down to the last second.
Yeah. I didn't watch it live, but I like Jason Tatum, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's been a good fit for the team.
And Tatum goes hard.
Sure. Tatum is just like different. He's gonna be top 5 player, I think.
I'd probably put him like one step below being a unicorn because he can play like 3 different positions and he's mad young.
Yeah, he's only 17, right?
I don't think he's it.
He looks it.
He does, yo. My man cannot grow any facial hair.
Yeah, he can play. He can defend. He was locking up Durant, and he can play. I'm excited. I think they could win a chip, but maybe not this year.
Yeah, hopefully this year.
Let me just drop a tweet to join the spaces real quick.
Sure.
Yeah. So how you guys doing? I might need to drop a Discord announcement as well.
Not bad. So the way I want to do this, Joel, is I just want to give some updates from our end for the people listening, and then let's get you guys introduced, and then I want to learn more about what's going on at Dormant Dragons, and then we can kind of just go into a more general world talk. Sound good?
That sounds pretty exciting. I like this.
Hell yeah.
Hold up, guys. I would be remiss if I didn't fulfill my promise that I made to everybody earlier on Twitter. Are we recording?
We are recording.
All right, perfect. So everybody heard me. I made sure.
All right. Well, we'll start up at 7:07.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yo, what's up, guys?
What's going on, Zerk?
I'm not doing too well. Ended up, I went out last night, stayed out for way longer than I thought. Just, yeah. I'm recovering, but yeah, Joel, I'm gonna need you to take pretty much everything. I'll be here though for any specific stuff.
He said just like me. He said I'm here playing the field. Just let me know if you need me to step up.
Yeah. I messaged Zach. I was like, you here? But yeah.
Joel, what is that accent I'm catching, bro?
Let's do a guessing game. What do you?
Australia.
It's pretty close, but
South.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
New Zealand.
Someone got it.
Yeah.
I'm from New Zealand.
Nice.
Adesanya fan? Do you watch UFC?
Nah, but a few of my friends have met him. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
pies are like a huge thing in New Zealand. So you go down, you have like a mince pie. It's kind of like a staple food item. But my mate was at the bakery, and he's like, "Dang, this guy kind of looks like Israel Adesanya." And then he looks properly, and he's like, "Oh, it is Israel Adesanya." He's like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Yo, I don't know. It's just like celebrities aren't really like huge in New Zealand at all. So that's kind of like a crazy experience because there's just no one here. But in America, you could probably like run into someone eventually, you know."
For sure, yeah. America's huge with so much talent.
Yeah, it's just like so many people. It's kind of crazy. New Zealand is pretty small, but
Nah, legit. I swear it was like more than one time because this dude was in a ridiculous car. Wahlberg. So Matt, the Wahlberg family, they have a bunch of burger restaurants, and I mean they're pretty good burgers. So I've gone there multiple times, and more than one time I saw the family like leaving in like ridiculous cars. So like they actually pop up, go to their shops and like see what's going on, and then they'll leave. And like if you go there at the right time, you can actually spot them. It's fire.
wait, like
Yeah.
Wahlberg or someone?
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh,
The
Yeah,
actor.
Mark Wahlberg.
His family.
Yeah,
I actually
and his brother.
I met his brother at a Best Buy. I didn't ask for a pic because there were so many people asking for a pic. But anyways, let's go ahead and kick this off. So earlier I just stated that the way we're going to kind of run the spaces is we just want to give you an update from the WRLDMind side. We'll introduce Dormant Dragons, let them kind of let our community kind of get acclimated to kind of what you guys got going on. So talk through some of that stuff. And then at the end, we're just going to talk about World Kick It. We'll get a bunch of speakers up here, just hang out. So nothing really formal except like the first few minutes. And then, yeah. So okay. So if you're not in our Discord, but if you are, you've probably already seen the latest update that I kind of put out. But where we're at, the biggest question is when marketplace, where are we at with all that? So let me just run through that really quick. So with the marketplace, we're building the UI still. Where it's still projected to be done by end of April, with quality testing coming up next. So just based on kind of how the quality testing goes and the QA side of it, that might get pushed a week or so, just based on kind of what comes out of that. And then from a contract perspective, the marketplace contract is completed. So it's fully tested, it's complete, it's ready to go. So that's all set from that side. It's just a matter of getting the UI complete. Okay, and then next up, I want to talk about the Launchpad. So, in terms of the Launchpad, we've been pretty much asked by Musedeo to help them out with their minting. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to help them out with their minting, specifically building their smart contract, and they're going to be leveraging the same web app you guys use to purchase WRLDMind. It's the same web app that's going to be used to mint Musedeo. So they're contracting us to do all that work for them. And in return, they're paying us, which helps WRLDMind because then gives us a bigger budget to do more cool stuff for you guys. And like, of course, that stuff's not going in our pocket. That's just to help build WRLDMind, right? And then the second thing is they're giving us 50 whitelist spots, which is cool. Tiz and I were talking. We're gonna throw a bunch of those in for cheap in the casino we got in the Discord. So if you're not in there grinding for scrap, do it, because soon we're gonna come in there and drop some bombshells of NFTs that are gonna be up for grabs. So get in there,
before Zerk buys everything.
Yeah, before
Yeah, just
Zerk and Joel start buying up everything, get in there.
This is
don't
probably a
try to
good
rob
time.
people.
This is probably a good time because Zerk is hungover. So while he's sleeping, go get it.
Yeah, grind away. And then so that's it from the Launchpad. We're hoping this is our first like contract that we're doing for another NFT project in the world ecosystem. So I imagine there's gonna be more of these as we go. And when we're kind of doing these partnerships and stuff, we're always thinking about the all terrain holders, right? We're just what can you provide to the AT holders, and that's how we're kind of forming these partnerships. And then Cybertusk, everyone keeps asking when Cybertusk, when Cybertusk. So for the Cybertusk, the art's done. We had a super long session over the weekend. We generated a bunch of the art. We're looking at it, quality testing it. And I threw a bunch of them in the main chat when that was happening. So like, some of you caught like some sneak peeks. But Cybertusk is done from an art perspective. Behind the scenes, what we're kind of working on right now is trying to get the roadmap complete for Cybertusk and even start on some of that. Our primary goal for AT when we launched WRLDMind was let's get all terrain out there, but let's get it out there so we strategically started the minting at a certain phase where once we fully minted out, you had something to actually like use the AT pass for. So we want to do the same thing with Cybertusk, and maybe do it better, right? Like with AT, we're still in this like weird phase right now where like the marketplace is in development and the game's also in development still. So we want to make sure for Cybertusk we drop it and then you immediately have utility. And there's some cool stuff that we're talking through with Cybertusk. I'll drop some alpha. Like the lore is gonna be a comic at one point. That's something we're just gonna give you guys. So yeah, that's my little like alpha for you. And then
we're getting some insider info about what's coming next.
yeah, for sure. And then I almost forgot the first person shooter. That's the big piece. Yesterday I teased one of the maps. Some of you reached out and they're like, hey, that map looks super familiar. It looks like High Rise from Call of Duty. And a lot of the maps you'll see, they're modeled after like existing Call of Duty CSGO type maps. So you're gonna once you get in there, you're gonna kind of know the map already. But we're hoping this week we're gonna get into beta testing with Metacrafters. And based on how all that testing kind of goes, if we want to make any tweaks and whatnot, the game is very close. It's right around the corner, so stay tuned for that. And like we went out there over the weekend, we went out there and we played a bunch of games. And like we went on Twitter and we told you what games were kind of hip with games that we like really enjoyed playing. But out of all the games, we managed to find 2 or 3 games that were like, you know what, I could sit here for a couple hours and just play and earn some world, right? So our goal is to really come in and make a big impact with the FPS shooter, especially CSGO style. Like, come in and just make it really enjoyable for you guys. So that's our goal with that. If you're having fun playing and earning, the AT pass is already doing a lot for you there. And then plus all the other extra utility we're going to slap on top of it. But that's it from like the major WRLDMind updates that I want to kind of give. Let's drop the whole formal thing. So what we got kind of as a co-host here, Dormant Dragons, which is Joel. And then we got Zerk from their team, and I believe Matty Ice. So these guys are here. We just want to collab with them, and they're also some of our largest all-terrain holders. So if you see them in the Discord, yeah.
Yeah. First things first. When are we getting on that marketplace? Nah, for real though.
We'll make that happen for you.
Yeah, that sounds good. For me, I'm like a huge fan of CSGO. I've got, I think I had 2,000 plus hours in CSGO, and I remember playing CSGO on Mindplex. Man, maybe how many years ago? Like 6 years ago. So I'm fairly excited for the game you guys are developing. I can't lie, because
is the FPS like when I was showing you WRLDMind. Was that what made you buy so many, I guess, or mint so many?
Well, so like I was like, I think I was minting a project, and I was up at 4 a.m. because time zones be tough. Um, it was like Shin Sakai. Shout out to the NFT Circle, and I had to stay up till 4 a.m. And you gave me the alpha, and I looked at it, and I was like, oh, I'm way too tired for this. And then I woke up and I read the entire docs, and then I think like the biggest takeaway was like the potential, and then the FPS. I mean, the FPS kind of hit home for me, so I was like, this is too awesome to like let this just like this is like an unfadable project. So and then I saw the marketplace, and I was like, man, this is too good. I probably minted way too many, but I think in the long run should be all goods. I think ideally project has like 50% ownership, so maybe Zerk and I have to sell some or something, but hopefully not anytime soon.
No, I don't sell. You know that.
Yeah, I think Zerk sold like 3 NFTs in his entire career. Oh,
Yeah, the NFT career of like, how long has it been? 8 months
8
or
months.
something?
Yeah.
I sold, it's closer to 10 now.
Zerk's the definition of diamond hands. When you say diamond hands, you're saying Zerk.
Got them Zerk
Doesn't like to
hands.
take profits. Zerk hands.
But I remember that night when you kind of that night when we sold out. I remember Joel came into the main chat and he said one thing. He said, "We're selling out tonight," and I said, "Okay, like okay." And
Who is
then,
this guy?
yeah, he just said we're selling out tonight, and I said, "All right." And then I'm sitting there refreshing an Etherscan, and I'm like, I don't think he's joking. Like the numbers are just flying. I'm like, oh my god, he's serious. And then the buzz built all around. I think the marketplace buzz with like the extreme minting happening from like Joel's side. We just built so much buzz, and we ended up selling out. That was a surreal night. It was insane, kind of being a part of that. So. I still get goosebumps every time I kind of think about that because we weren't expecting to sell out 2 weeks after we launched. Like we knew this is a long process. We have to prove ourselves. But yeah, that was just insane. And we're so grateful for that. So
I can't lie.
I remember.
I was shilling hard. I was like, man, this is too good not to mint out. I'm a shill. I literally went to like my main like alpha friend group and told everyone there to buy. I think like the second largest holder from there got like the largest holder from that group got 30 other than me. So like they ain't selling either. They saw my conviction. I was like, you holding for at least a year.
Wow.
You're never looking at it again. That's what I told them.
Yeah, I remember that night you DM'd me, Joel, and I was trying to figure out. I was like, "Who is this guy?"
Nah, I don't know. Project was just different. I think like when the NFTWorlds ecosystem has like million plus players, like you guys would easily have the most potential out of any project for sure. But oh yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Dormant Dragons.
Yeah. So tell me. So I'll be honest. I've done a little bit of research, so I know a little bit, but kind of walk me through what's the vision behind Dormant Dragons, and then I want to talk like I think you guys are doing more than just in the world ecosystem. You got things going on outside of that. So like, kind of tell us how you're working it into the world ecosystem and what's going on outside of that ecosystem as well.
Yeah, you could definitely say we're doing a little bit of things, but for us, I think innovation is a key factor in becoming a large project in the space. If you don't have innovation and you don't do anything new, eventually you're just seen as someone copying other projects. I mean, I won't leak anything right now, but Zerk is working on some innovation tokenomics, I believe at least, which is going to be pretty exciting. Maybe Zerk's going to be angry at me later, but
No, because that's not really saying anything about it. You could just like an explanation of it is solving the 2-token problem. So why have a token that is just for earning that gets dumped on and drags your whole ecosystem down? And we see this with Axie being the biggest example of that. So what I'm working on is just solving that and having everything work around a single token.
Tell
Even
us,
with
tell us some more about that. If it's not too early, like give us a little bit of a deeper dive.
I wouldn't say it's too early. Like I think it's been almost fully fleshed out. We're just
I don't want someone to do it before me. I guess we'll have our dev finish it, and then I drop like all the info on it and the vote, because our holders still have to vote about switching from our current smoke token to the new token that I am.
I'm gonna go authoritarian if they say no. I'm gonna just do it anyway. I mean,
I'm pretty sure it'll 100% pass. There's like no reason for it not to.
The vibe I'm getting here is you guys don't want to drop this alpha in the spaces, but after we're gonna link up and I'll do an AMA with you guys where maybe I can push a little bit harder and Drew isn't here to tell me to be quiet.
I think like but like in the space you have to do something different, and we want to be different. I know, like I remember one of our cool things when we were like making the project is sustainable tokenomics and fix the current way play to earn is working, and I feel like we can definitely do that. Being different is good, and doing something new is the only way you can become, at least in my eyes, a good project. If you're not innovating and building, I feel like, what are you doing? You know, and you guys are definitely doing that 100%. But
Joel, can I give my take?
yeah. What's up, Maddie?
What's up, dude? You know, when I hear the question, what is Dormant Dragons? Give me the pitch of Dormant Dragons. Like, I always go back to, we're creating 2 play and earn experiences that are, you know, revolutionary to the space. One of those experiences is our own game, like you guys are talking about, our own tokenomics, our own, you know, dev, our own artwork, our own everything. And then we have this other play and earn experience happening on NFTWorlds in what we call the Dragonverse. That's kind of like, you know, a bonus for our project. And both of those experiences, you know, we're hoping to make revolutionary in the play and earn space by making it play and earn. It's no longer a grind. It's no longer a disengaging game loop. You know, it's how do we make play to earn fun, rewarding, engaging, and innovate those tokenomics, like Zerk said, to really satisfy those demands that are currently in the space. We know people want to play games. We know people want to earn and play games. We know people want to have fun in Web3 and in the metaverse. And we're hoping that the Dormant Dragons universe is a place where people can do that.
Very cool. So you guys mentioned your work. So you have your own token, right? How are you planning on? So this might be going back to the tokenomics, but like how will that play a factor alongside the world token when you're building the Dragonverse?
I think like, oh yeah, sorry, you go, Zerk.
It's just separate. Anything in the NFT world side of things will run through the world token, but pretty much you can trade anything for anything, right? Super easy. So you could like, I guess, sell our token for world or world for our token, but yeah, they're separate.
Gotcha. So what's the current, like, what's the current utility for your token?
Smoke is used right now to mint the baby dragons, loot boxes, and they'll be used in minting pretty much anything, any other characters in the game, creating different pieces of gear from like combined with different resources earned in game from your land or dungeons, and it's I guess we didn't even really say what the game is kind of like yet, did we? Think about like think about like a Diablo, 2D pixel.
Stardew Valley type.
Yeah, mixed with Stardew Valley.
Gotcha. And you're building this on an NFT world?
No, this is our like 2D RPG to begin with, and then it'll eventually, with a ton of players, be probably considered a MMORPG.
Oh, gotcha. So if I'm understanding this right, this game that you're developing, you'll play it, you'll earn the smoke token, which then you can use to either mint more dragons, baby dragons, or use that on loot boxes.
Yeah, and
Gotcha.
yeah, a bunch of other stuff that is like not really released yet or fully fleshed out, but like different like shops, like a rotating selection of things you buy for like any given day. Yeah, it could be so big. Like I get a lot of inspiration also from RuneScape, and I know people are kind of looking for the NFT version of RuneScape. I think we're kind of going in the direction of being the closest to that so far. The way like so far there's 10 skills in the game, and like there's your gathering, your production, and miscellaneous categories, but some of them are kind of very similar to RuneScape skills, like woodcutting, fishing, and cooking and stuff.
Gotcha. Very cool. I guess my question is, while you guys are building that game, what's the inspiration behind getting kind of into the NFT worlds ecosystem, and kind of, I saw you own like 8 worlds. Like what are you planning on doing with these worlds? What's the inspiration to actually even move into this ecosystem?
Yeah, so I found NFTWorlds at Mint. I aped in at like 0.3, but I knew the potential of the project super early on when like the info wasn't out yet. I like every day, so I talked to Zerg every day. I was like, this is a 1/8 project, and he kept fudding me. He was like, nah, this is a Minecraft world. You just got a Minecraft picture. But I mentioned it every single day, and eventually it went down to like 0.15, 0.1, and yeah, I've been a huge believer and supporter, and eventually, they came up with some crazy docs, I think in late November, and after Zerk hears me shill it every day for like 3 months, he's like, maybe I buy, and
then I ended up with more than you after
yeah,
you were pushing so hard.
I think like I still wasn't as experienced like trader as I am now. I was like getting over the mental block because I was like, oh, I saw this at like 0.1 or 0.12 and now it's 0.3. I'm not gonna buy because I saw it cheaper. Even though I knew the potential, I still hadn't really learned how to get over that mental block. And so as we were creating like Dormant Dragons, we were like, man, NFTWorlds is gonna be crazy. And Zerk was like, we should do stuff on Worlds, and I was like, oh yeah, we'll see. I'm not too sure about it yet, and I think at that point like we had like a few connections with Minecraft devs and stuff. One of our devs is like worked on Luna Client and stuff for Minecraft, that is. And yeah, I've just been huge supporters since the start, and I think I believe this ecosystem can 50x in a year. This is so much better than Sandbox, so much better than Decentraland. Minecraft is what it was the number one most played game last year, probably. I think it had like 220 million or something unique players. This ecosystem is huge, and I think it'd be foolish not to be a part of it. So that's the reason why we didn't want to miss out on the train. And eventually, when worlds are like 100 ETH, we'd be like, oh, now's the time to do stuff. You know, like we know.
Absolutely. I was just gonna say, like, just echoing what you were saying is the one thing that sets NFT Worlds aside from Sandbox and like Decentraland and these other metaverses that are coming out is the fact that there's a limited supply of 10,000, but that one piece that you hold, it's that one NFT world is larger than the whole Sandbox. So think about all the different experiences that you can build inside your NFT world, and on top of that, it's being built on proven technology. What Joel said, right? We neared, I think it was around 200 million, right? Users on Minecraft in a single year, which is insane. If you want massive metaverse adoption, those are the numbers we need to hit. And yeah, so I think getting into the NFT world's ecosystem and building these metaverse experiences now is super crucial for projects because once the big dogs start coming in, it's gonna get a lot harder to do it, especially with the limited supply. And even currently, the supply is limited, right? Everything's staked away, so there's only a small supply that's up for sale that you can kind of even grab and start building on. So yeah, that's huge. And one question I did have, well, two things. So I do see people requesting, just give us the time. I just want to talk with Dormant Dragons before we kind of open it up to the floor. But the second thing is, are you guys building out these? Are you building out the worlds, or are you outsourcing that? What's going on with that?
Yeah, we had Eco Studios work on our Dragonverse world. It's like it's a little I guess lobby of a castle and a little town and some dragons. Let me see if I can pin it to the space. I'm not sure if it'll allow me. Have to find it. I have a slow phone, so that's my bad.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so I pinned it to the top of the space. I don't know if everyone can see that, but yeah, I'm not a good builder myself. I don't know about Zerk. I've personally been playing Minecraft.
Terrible.
I got Minecraft in 2011 when I was like 7, and it's just been my favorite game ever since. But yeah, Eco Studios was amazing. The build is insane. Super exciting.
What's the Joel? What's the experience in the Dragonverse?
We got a few ideas. We're still working through it. I think
Yeah,
like
I'd say so far we're not committed to any specific thing right now. There's really no rush, and we don't want to just pick something and then it's like, well, we have to go with that because that's what we rushed it, and there's plenty of time. Like while this the NFT world ecosystem reaches even like a portion of its true potential throughout the next years. Yeah, we want to make sure we're doing something that is actually going to attract people other than I don't know, simple. I don't want to do something too simple, I guess.
I got you. Okay, cool. So, Eco Builds is kind of right now just building. I saw the trailer. They're just building the whole the world layout per se, and then you're gonna kind of implement the game mechanics.
Yeah, we actually wanted to start with sort of like Bed Wars, but I saw another project they already did it, so Yeah, I guess we're still planning it out.
Gotcha.
We got front run.
I'm
But
I'm just curious, guys, really quick. You guys have all of this space. Are you guys how are you guys approaching it as far as what to do first? Are you looking at having your builders utilize all of your space that you guys own, or maybe start with one of your NFTs and then kind of branch out from there? Where are you guys with that?
Like, you mean with all the multiple worlds that we have, or you mean with all within one single build?
Yeah, yeah. So are you guys looking to have a bunch of different worlds, or you use one, start with just one of your worlds and then kind of expand or iterate on your worlds as you go?
I guess we'll have to see how scaling is going to work on that. So if we could have everything on one world, then I think it's definitely better. But yeah, it's just going to come down to what the world can support, whether we have to start building on the next world and then the next one.
Gotcha. Very cool. I mean that's all the questions I had. Unless you guys want to touch on anything else.
no,
I
not. I don't think.
I definitely want to just ask. So when I'm looking at both sides of things, it sounds more like, and of course I kind of want to get a little bit more of your background here, but what space are you guys coming from where I'm looking at your docs, they're super clean. I'm looking at your website and it feels super DeFi to me, right? Who who's doing the tokenomics here? What is your background? Who's working on this stuff where it has such a clean polish? The tokenomics look very good. Like, this looks like a proper GameFi game. So who's the mastermind behind this?
Oh, you
I
already know
guess
who it is.
that would be me. It's cool you say that it has like a DeFi, like you know that someone that was heavily involved in DeFi, I guess, created this, and that was me. I got I think it was like, peak of the COVID dip crash. Bitcoin was like 3K. That's when I was like, I picked up extra hours when I was working at Amazon, and I just started investing. I got like maybe 5K worth invested in the market at the very bottom, and quickly I went from Bitcoin to ETH to then I had my MetaMask set up, and I just like messed around with a few coins like that was like relevant, the Terra, different things like that, and like that was when burns and taxes were like, whenever you send a token, it taxes you. Like SafeMoon and all that type of stuff was just starting out. Um, then I went away from like all the meme pointless type of stuff to like what's actually gonna make a difference in the crypto space and in the real world. So I I found I found Sora, made a huge play on it, and
How
pretty
much you
much I,
make?
I was able to quit working at Amazon and be in the space full time, just learn more and more, and that's why I think that I can really innovate on the tokenomics side instead of just betting on what I think is good tokenomics.
That's incredible. Good question, Cookie.
Good.
I want to just follow this question up, but I want to know what kind of role do you guys like play on the team? Like what role does Zerk play? Zerk kind of just explained the role he plays, more tokenomics heavy. But like, what's your role, Joel? What's Maddie's role? And I can talk about kind of how we've like kind of like how our roles are set up here at WRLDMind as well. So just
For sure.
curious how that's being done.
Um, it's crazy that you say that the tokenomics are good because they're about to get 10 times better for sure. um, I, I did like a lot of the work at the start of the project and as a roadmap delivered, Zerk was kind of like the visionary. You know what I mean? I I was just like the hardcore grinder. I think I was putting in like 12-hour days to get the project up and running. But I've taken sort of like calm down now. I focus a lot on the art. I'm a huge pixel art fan, and so I'm coordinating with the artists, making sure that the art is what it needs to be. Because sometimes art in this space is a little hard. So um, yeah, like these guys just hate crypto and NFTs, but I was lucky to find two insane artists that are with us all the way, um, dedicating I think more than 80% of that, maybe not more than. I think one of them is like 80%, one of them is 60%, because one of them is pretty famous in the space. I can't dox him because he doesn't want that. But yeah, I think as well, um, just helping Zerk plan out his idea, because at the start it was like we've gone through many twists and turns and struggles, because it's been around almost 5 months since we minted, and we've had we've changed we've pivoted and changed probably like 20 times, but now we're at the point where we know exactly what we want to do and how we want to do it. I also do the marketing as well, um, and that's about it for me though. I'll let Zerk say what he does.
I guess one way to put it could be like Joel is like, because well, we're not devs, but you could say Joel's like the front end. Everything that you see is pretty much Joel, and then I'd be like the back end, making sure that it's all built on a system that actually works while looking very visually pleasing. Um, so I did tokenomics. I'm working on innovating in tokenomics, and I'm doing like all of the game design as well. So I mean, it takes a while to get each like system that I want in the game to be like fully fleshed out, and yeah. So um, other than that, I don't really know what else
That's
I
really do. I mean, I
if I can jump in really quick, I think I'm very excited by both both the way that you guys speak, and again just the presentation and the way that you guys are handling your project, because it's so easy to make an NFT. It arguably, right? Because the bearish sentiment for people who want to FUD this space of NFTs, their main argument is going to be, yeah, it's just a glorified JPEG, and you guys are out here, throwing ape money around, board ape money around. But I think it's very unique what you guys have here. Is it sounds like you guys have an engineer, somebody who can truly build, and then on the other hand, with you, Joel, somebody who can just really get into that artwork, make something that's very visually pleasing and aesthetically pleasing. It's I really I really want to continue digging into your project, and of course after this I want to link up with you guys and conversate a little bit more, because that dynamic is what I believe is going to allow this space to evolve, where you can't just make an NFT. You can't just say, oh, we're going to have all of these attributes and it's going to look so great, it's going to look so nice, but you do need to have that utility. You do need to have that tokenomics that you're working on, Zerk, because what that's going to allow people to do is develop meta, right? You're not going to just game plan around your strat within the world when you're actually moment to moment playing. But then on the tokenomic side, outside of the world, you're like, okay, like, is that going to affect APR, or is that going to affect, again, like bringing DeFi into the GameFi? I'm very, very excited to see how you guys are able to blend those two with both your backgrounds. I'm really interested in that.
Yeah, for sure. That means a lot. Thank you. Um,
For sure. And then Joel, you touched on one thing is like you mentioned something about like pivoting, right? You pivoted like 20 times. And like one thing that like to some people that sounds like not good, right? Like they can't make up their mind. They keep pivoting, right? And it's like that's it's the complete opposite where it's like the NFT space moves so fast. If your team, if your project isn't agile, you'll get left in the dust, right? You need to be adapting. Your vision constantly needs to be adjusting. We're not in the space where you can kind of just pick a vision and then stick through it. And that's not saying like you don't deliver on your roadmap, right? That's saying your overarching whatever that vision is, right? It can always be tailored, and it needs to move with the time. Whereas like when you're looking at a more granular piece of it, like if we're talking roadmap, right? Like obviously, if you say you're gonna do X, Y, and Z in the quarter, then it's on you to deliver that X, Y, and Z, unless the vision that changed affects that, right? And it's that line of communication and stuff too. So I want people to understand in the NFT space with how fast it moves. It's okay to be super agile and to pivot your vision as well. So like we're still early in the game. We have a set vision right now. Who knows how that vision stands 6 months from now, right? Like it's I'm assuming it's gonna get for the better, right? But it's like you have to pivot. We don't know what's gonna happen in the space at that time. So um yeah,
Well,
I just want to say that.
well, Drew, that really makes me have to speak about the way that you, Nick, and Tiz have handled NFT worlds, or I'm sorry, World Mine up until this point, and just really coordinating and facilitating like a business. Because at the end of the day, when you make a token, you're making a stock, right? We're talking about all of the government scrutiny that our space is on. We need to treat these tokens like their securities, like their stocks, right? And when you're handling people's money, when somebody gives you enough faith and trust to hand over their ETH in exchange for your token, you need to make sure that you're going about that activity responsibly and doing everything that you can, right? To keep people safe. So yeah, the space does move so fast because that decentralized nature of things, and things are so exciting, right? People are able to iterate, everything is open source, which allows people to collaborate, and yeah, things just move super quick. But we also need to consider that who's going to be here in 5-10 years, right? You're talking about, are you going to be able to weather this storm to have your project come to fruition long term, right? And it's the day to day. How are you managing your project? How are you coordinating? How are you coordinating with your team? Are you just on Twitter shilling? So I'm always trying to look at projects on how they're, one, communicating amongst themselves, and two, communicating with their community. Because again, at the end of the day, right, once your project gets to a certain market cap, dude, you've got a small business. Once you start putting more hours into your NFT project than you do your full-time job, dude, you've got a small business, right? You're doing taxes, you're probably paying contractors, so you're writing tax forms and salary forms and stuff like that. So you have a company. So I'm just really conscious and aware of how people are going to govern themselves and treat this like a business, because that's ultimately what it is. I mean, we're honestly small gaming studios. We're startup gaming studios at this point in my book.
Yeah,
100%.
I just want to add to what Drew was saying. The whole process, it's just been an iterative process. It's just continuous building is the key here. As we keep growing, we're just going to keep refining everything to make it better and better. So that's really been the key the whole time.
Yeah, for sure. Really awesome notes. I remember reading in your docs that all three founders of WorldMind are engineers. Is that true?
Yeah, so me, so you Patel. So yeah, I'm an engineer by heart. So I do it for my day job. And have our so Nick and I we're also co-founders in a local consulting firm here in Massachusetts, where we take on projects for like small and medium-sized businesses. But Nick also has a background in computer science, and he does that for a job as well. But he takes on more of a leadership role now. So, and then Tiz, he's a little different. He's still an engineer, but more on
Yeah.
the electrical front.
Yeah,
So
so I went towards electrical engineering, so not really much programming on that end, but I've been moving more into the project management space on engineering sides of things. So
yeah. But like fun fact, I think most of our holders know this, but it's like Tiz, Nick, um, and Cookie that's on the call. We all know each other in real life. We don't live too far from each other. Tiz, Nick, and I, we went to the same college. We were roommates the whole time. So this is this is friends and family, and this business is run by friends and family, and
Dr-
yeah.
Drew, why are you gonna do me like that? I was there for a little while too.
Yeah, Cookie was
Come
there with us.
on,
Cookie was there.
man. Come
I,
come on. All right,
He was
to
watching
give a little bit
them
of
Celtics games with you.
yeah. No, no, they were all at the same school. I was at the same school too. I just ended up leaving and went to a different school. Yeah, well,
it still counts. It still counts, Cooks. It still
It still
counts.
matters.
exactly, it still counts. Tiz went more on the electrical side. As Drew said, him and Nick went more on the software coding side. I went more on the systems side. So I'm a systems engineer at a bank, and that's why you'll kind of hear me kind of just get into my DeFi business talk a lot because, just working in IT and working at a bank, it can't help but rub off. But yeah, that's just a little on me. So we're all IT guys. It's not like one day we all just decided to pick up and like Google all of this stuff. We've been in this space. We've gone to school for it. We've gone to school for it together. We've spent hours sitting on the couch talking about what ultimately became this. You guys remember? You remember Shadow Wolf Gaming?
oh my god, yes, that was like 8 years ago. Yeah, yeah. We spent like 2 days next to a bottle, just talking about this gaming company we want to start. This was 8 years ago, before NFTs and all that stuff. So yeah, pretty amazing. But like, what really gets me with, and I'll stop talking about how cool our team is just after this one thought. Um, but it's the fact that like when we didn't come up with this marketplace idea overnight. They like, if you go through my Twitter, you'll see that like a few months back, I tweeted out the complete vision of WRLDMind, full on vision. It was a full thread. Tweeted the whole vision about WRLDMind, and even in one of those tweets, it says, "Hey, why don't we create a world marketplace where you can exclusively trade NFTs using the world token?" So this isn't something that we just said, "Hey, why don't we just do this for some PR?" Right? That this was already in development for a while. Um, so, and that's what I love is like we do a lot of the development in house. And like obviously we know our weakness, Minecraft development. We don't know how to do that. So like for those types of things, we do outsource it. For art, none of us are artists, so we outsource the art too. But similar kind of the setup that Dormant Dragon has. So cool. Um,
Yeah. I just got one question. Like, what was the big appeal for you for NFT Worlds, and how did like? Well, I'll rephrase it. How did you find out about NFT Worlds, and what was the big appeal for you guys to build within it? Like,
yeah,
what stood out most for you guys?
yeah. So it was sometime in February or January, late January maybe. I was looking at, I I had a couple big NFT sales, so I was like just looking at another spot to invest my money. And I found NFTWorlds again. I knew about them previously, so like when Zerk and Joel and you guys were buying at like 0.3, I knew about NFTWorlds, except I never pulled the trigger. So I actually pulled the trigger at like 5 ETH. So yeah, late January I ended up buying NFTWorlds at 5 ETH. But what really got me going was I went through the docs, and they have two separate docs. They have that dev doc and they have the original doc. So I'm reading through the original doc, and like I got to that infographic. They have an infographic where they have like check marks for different features that are supported in NFTWorlds and like the sandbox and Decentraland. And I'm staring at that checkbox thing. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. This is such a genius idea. They literally built a metaverse on top of a proven technology. And the fact that it's going to be able to work across platforms right out of the gate, um, and then so that was one of the things that got me. And then the second thing was I'm looking at it, I'm like, the team behind NFTWorlds is just insane. I'm like, these guys are delivering at rapid speed, one, and two, they're innovating the space, right? And it was that like around that time is when like the gasless transactions like kind of popped up too. And I was like, oh my God, like they truly are trying to give all the tools to one, the users, and the people building the experiences, right? They're literally trying to give you every single tool you could possibly need to succeed in the space. And I was like, no other like owning sandbox land. I've tried developing on it. It is way too difficult, right? And then the second piece is like, yeah, cool, I'll develop on it, but then I got to get approval to even have people playing on it. They need alpha passes. Like this is a long process.
It's
And
not easy. It's not seamless, and they don't have a proven game. You know, Minecraft is just different. It's just
right,
different.
like they're essentially recreating Minecraft, and it's gonna take them some time to perfect it and get it right. Um, However, they do have some cool features they added because they did build ground up. Um, but it's still the just the tooling that exists for Minecraft compared to Sandbox is is a big differentiator, right? Like the fact that we can create assets, in-game assets at rapid speed, is just not the same on like the Sandbox side. So like building, you could truly build any experience you really want in NFTWorlds, and that was the big selling point for us. And I did more and more research as I went, and I was like, this is a no-brainer. Like I like yeah, that was the big thing for me. And then like I looked at the tokenomics for the world token. I'm like, this is gonna get used. Like this token isn't just a token that like any project releases, right? We've all been in those projects. Um, this has some real utility behind it. And if the adoption picks up, right? If we even see half of the Minecraft adoption kind of switch to NFTWorlds or start playing in these servers or experiences that we're building, this ecosystem is gonna boom, and it's gonna boom like crazy because of what ArcDev has done with the simplified onboarding of players. Like you don't even need to know anything about crypto or MetaMask or any of this jargon, right? Log in with your Microsoft account, you could start earning, which is
It's
insane.
ridiculous. It's
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 insane.
ridiculous. I mean, I could easily see World being a top, like a 10 billion market cap, and that's like, I almost think it's guaranteed. All I know
100%.
is I want to get at least 10 NFT World avatars. That's a free. That's a free 20x, even at a 1 ETH Dutch auction. I'm getting as many as I can. Um, I've got a question as well. So when you guys you have your world, what's gonna happen with that avatar? Is there a way you can like maybe like fractionalize it or something? And are you gonna like because it's 0.4 ETH for whitelist? What's gonna happen with that for you guys? Or you haven't really thought about it yet?
Technically I still own the world,
Yeah.
personally. It's just WRLDMind's using it, because we didn't use any of the minting funds or any of that to buy the NFT World. So yeah, I don't know we haven't talked about like kind of how all that's gonna work with the avatars, and so yeah, that's a good question. We haven't talked about it, and that's probably something we should do. So
Well, a quick question in response to you guys, Joel and Zerk. So you guys definitely have two, I mean, very distinct portions of your game, and I think it was very smart of you to say, "Hey, we have Dormant Dragons, you know that's our NFT piff right there, and then that's on Ethereum. We're gonna go over to Polygon. We're gonna have our babies." How do you see yourselves kind of woving those two worlds into one another a little bit more?
I need Zerk to clutch up here.
Sorry, what was it?
Is there have you guys thought about ways of further integrating the two parts? Because it's there are pretty much two platforms here, the NFT game and then the NFT Worlds game. Is it just going to be more meta and lore that tie those two together, or is there going to be more like I actually click on this for my dormant dragon and it affects my baby dragon in some way? If that makes sense.
No, I don't think there would be anything like that. It's like the 5,000 Dormant Dragons are, I guess it'd be like the all-terrain, and that's where we reward our early supporters as we go, and we'll never stop rewarding them. And then everything else would be on Polygon side with your playable baby dragon characters, and then the future characters, all the items, everything's gonna be on Polygon. Just and then it could be cool, I guess, to have like I don't know if it has to be dual metadata or not, but like having, since NFT World is on Polygon as well, we could have some of our NFTs work in our Dragon Valley game and then also work in the Dragonverse.
Well, don't get me wrong. I don't want to paint you into a box, and I think I'm thinking far, too far out with scope. And what I really wanted to ask are, for this space, we always want to talk about what's great with the platform, but I want to understand, what are some of the hurdles that you guys have had to overcome that obviously made you go in this direction? Because I believe a lot of people who are new to the space, they don't really understand why both projects are kind of steered toward doing the way that we have, right?
Yeah.
You have the Ethereum network. Everything lives on the Ethereum network. It's home base, and that's where everybody wants to be. And because of that, we have really high transaction fees, and we have crazy points of periods of congestion, and that makes transacting very, very costly, right? And then we have our Polygon and Matic network that comes in to act as it quite literally is a layer two. So I know from a technological standpoint why we're not going to really want to try to force those two together, because you really can't. There's a reason why we're on Polygon, because Polygon is way cheaper. It's faster because of how the Polygon Matic network works. It's a layer two. Can you tell me any more challenges, or how did you guys come to that point where you guys were like, all right, we can't do this on the Ethereum network, we have to go to Polygon? Or are there any other challenges that you guys face with trying to bring your goal to fruition?
Yeah, we had like some major I don't know what to call it, like feedback, pushback, or whatever. Whenever we were like, all right, the baby dragons, they're going to be on Polygon, and all the ETH maxis or whatever, like or like your typical 100% all in PFP NFT type of people were like, no, it's got to be everything on ETH. It's the most liquidity and all that. And it's like, all right, well, right now, I guess it's you could see that, but like we're making a game. It needs to be ease of use, and Polygon is just a lot easier. Not everyone
Seamless.
has like 100K portfolios where you're just okay to spend $50 every time you want to make a move because of that gas. So,
But isn't it wild that you'll have ETH maxis be upset when you don't want to pay $50 to just claim your rewards, but then you have games that do go parabolic, like Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity couldn't stay on chain; they had to make their own side chain. I don't think enough people
Yeah.
talk about that. So it's like how I think that really comes to how we educate and we talk to our communities about how the space actually works and how the technologies intertwine. I don't really care about the Matic token. I don't really care about the token value. I care about what the network does and what the technology does. Ethereum is like day one internet, right? So you're really talking about dial-up, right?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
you got to look
I
at
mean,
the transactions per day is something like a little bit over 1 million. And if Axie didn't move chains, they were at their peak moving something like 250K transactions. And if that was still on ETH, they're taking up 25% of the network, which is like more than than OpenSea and then the next 2 or 3 biggest gas spenders combined. So gas fees would be like they could go to hundreds and stay minimum hundreds, if not $1,000, if you didn't have people moving to different chains.
Sweet.
yeah. I mean, like, okay, let's take something like Wolf Game. I think Wolf Game at its peak probably had like 5,000 players. That's like a whales game. People that could afford to play Wolf Game, they made money. But yeah, Polygon is just the way if you want to have a large player base. I mean, there's other chains like not chains, but like Arbitrum is pretty good, but as far as I know, that's more of like a DeFi magic type thing. And yeah, if you want, I mean, realistically, I think there's only probably 100,000 wallets. I mean, even right now, there's only like 300,000 people used wallets used OpenSea last month. I mean, I'll have to check the exact statistics, but right now, everything on ETH is almost like a whales game. And if you want to onboard a lot of players and have a functioning ecosystem, you got to go off $50. Like even right now, we're at 25 way. At the peak, we were like 150 average. It was like $80 a transaction. It's ridiculous. And play to earn and play and earn type things really can't thrive where you're paying almost or up to $100 in fees and minimum like $40. It's just not good. So when people FUD, I mean they don't FUD anymore because I think people that FUD didn't really see the vision and they left. But yeah, Polygon is definitely important for us.
No, I definitely feel you on that. And again, we have people that listen to us, and simply because we're all on stage right now, like we're speaking from a position of authority. So I really feel like we're responsible to kind of try to break down some of these barriers. Like there shouldn't be a network maxi. Personally, in my opinion, and I know we're kind of I don't want to take the conversation off too much because both of you, I'm DMing you right now. We're gonna AMA, and I'm gonna pick your brain more about the technological portion of all of this good stuff. But to our listeners, at least in this moment, what I want you guys to try to conceptualize is that yes, we're all on Twitter and we're all shilling and we're all hyping like number go up and all that stuff. But if you're upset about a project because it isn't on the Ethereum main chain, it's for you. Like it literally is to benefit you. You can't even mint at high gas because it's like $75. I mean, if you want to pay that, go ahead. But me, I'm not trying to do that. So when you're talking about fractions of a penny on Polygon, first of all, you have to also take into consideration what the developer is experiencing, right? You're talking about regular dudes that want to come in and build something grassroots that don't have $1 million or venture capitalist money in their pocket. What network would you want to build on? One that's super fast. Yeah, it's a little bit more centralized than Ethereum, of course, but that's where you're getting the trade-off. You're getting fractions of a penny per transactions. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the throughput for the Matic network is something like 5 times transactions per second. So, I mean, when you're talking about making a game, the Ethereum network isn't really meant to do that in a sustainable way. It was really meant for, we don't really know what Ethereum was meant for. Ethereum was an experiment and it ended up blowing up into something that we all know and love. But yeah, don't be a maxi is pretty much what I'm getting at here. I appreciate that developers are actually sitting here taking the time to make these games, to make these products and put these services out, and wherever it ends up landing, it's the best place because that's where the developer wanted it to be.
Yeah, thank you for that, Cookie. So, guys, we just had a good conversation here. I just wanted to open up the floor for some questions. And then before I do that, I just want to add one point to what Cookie said. And it was when we're like, here's an example of something that we just on the WRLDMind team, we were wrestling with recently. It's when we were developing the smart contract for the marketplace, we took 3 to 4 different approaches for that development just so we could optimize the gas perfectly. So like if we built the marketplace on Matic right out of the gate, there's a lot of things we could have just done easier, right? Like having an operator to just do listings for us, and just you could throw whatever the hell you want in a map and just willy nilly pull whatever data you want, however you want, right? But you can't do that on the Ethereum network because it's so costly. It's costly for us and it's costly for you when you're interacting with it. So it's like, yeah, 100% agree. Like when we're doing, but it's got to be a fine balance, right? We know where all the money's at and we know where all the activity's at. It's on the Ethereum network, but there's just some things that we need to do on the Matic network. And WRLDMind hasn't hit that just yet. But as we grow, I'm sure that's going to happen. But anyways, with that said, I did want to open up the floor here. If you want to come up, speak, ask question, whatever, to any of the folks up here, raise your hand. We'll get you up here. And if there's no questions, we can kind of call it. It's coming up around 8 o'clock over here. So
yeah.
Just I'll give it another minute here. If not, just
What time is it your side, Joel?
It's like 12 p.m.
Oh,
Anything earlier, I would have been asleep, so that's my bad.
No worries.
I have to stay up late to know what's happening sometimes.
Gotcha. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because America's awake right now. A lot of NFT activity after like 5 o'clock. So.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so I'll just close it out. Let's get out of here. What I want to say is just so happy to have Joel and Zerk kind of join us on the spaces. It was a pleasure kind of speaking to you guys just from a personal standpoint, and then like just learning more about Dormant Dragons. You mentioned when marketplace for Dormant Dragons. We're gonna make that happen. We'll get you guys on launch. So we'll make that happen. Get Tiz to collect the information that we need for that, and we'll get you listed. So we'll get the Dormant Dragons on there. And then like I think just speaking for our team and Nick, who's not here, it's like we appreciate you guys for kind of being strongholders, kind of minting those passes when you did, and I think just overall we appreciate the whole community, the world community. Like you guys are insane. And I think there needs to be more of these conversations, just generic conversations. We don't always need to be on a space shilling to one another. I think just having these open discussions just sparks a lot of different ideas within projects and kind of gets everyone thinking. So, yeah, that's all I had to say. If Joel, Zerk, if you guys got anything to say, Cookie, Tid, fire away. If not, we'll get this closed out.
No, I'll just say it was great being able to finally speak with you guys. Love what you guys are doing with the Dormant Dragons.
Yeah, for sure. It was nice meeting you guys. It was nice talking. I think.
Yeah, thank you guys. Got nothing else to add?
Yeah,
Keep up
likewise.
all the great work. Everything you guys are doing, all the updates today. Nice to hear them. Yeah.
Joel and Zerk, me and you are gonna catch up. I'm gonna message you both in a few minutes, and we'll chop it up some more, man.
Yeah. Like Zoe and Zerk. So Cookie does our media side of things, right? So like, we're just getting into the space of interviewing projects privately to kind of get them onto our YouTube channel. So, just a little bit another angle we're trying to play to kind of get more people into NFT worlds and such. So, yeah, if you guys could hit them back via DM, get something scheduled, that'd be awesome. Carry this conversation a little bit further.
Yeah, we could do that. Just start up a. I think I gotta add you, and then we'll just start up a group chat.
For sure. Very cool. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your night or afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. Appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Yeah. See you guys later. Thank you so much.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks.
Bye bye.
Peace.